Alright guys, what's going on? Insanity coming at you today with another kill confirmed gameplay on the map Express, and today I'm rocking the Type 25 with the extended mags and reflex sight, and I was never really paying attention to any of this in my other videos or anything like that, but I noticed in the majority of my gameplay I wasn't using any of my, special collector's edition camos, or I never even decided to go ahead and throw my emblem on my gun, so shame on me for that. But what I really wanted to go ahead and get into today was a little discussion in what makes me a better Call of Duty player. I mean, I've been playing Call of Duty ever since Call of Duty 2, and I had it, it was one of the first original 360 games. I got my 360 on launch day, and I absolutely loved it. I mean, I know when the 360 first came out, a lot of the games that came out on launch day, besides like Quake 4, and that was pretty much it. That wasn't a straight port title, I believe. But anyways, what I wanted to get into was, how I've developed as a Call of Duty player and how I enjoy playing. I've pretty much come to learn each Call of Duty that I've, gone through and experienced. I've had a particular game mode that I've enjoyed. I've had a nice little list of weapons that I've come to, really like using on a daily basis, and that's really what I wanted to go ahead and talk about today. Is after playing, Black Ops 2 now for about 2 straight months, I haven't really, prestige very much. I'm only on my second prestige. I think I'm like level 39 or 40 or somewhere in there. And with that, that also comes with the idea of, hey, we just went through the holiday season. There were so many other games like Assassin's Creed 3, Halo 4, a lot of stuff to try and keep me away from Call of Duty, because I look at Call of Duty as a full year game. When you get a game like Assassin's Creed with a great campaign and things like that, you want to go ahead and, play through it and blast through it, because Call of Duty is going to coast you for the next 12 months until another one is released. But I typically, I don't like to camp. I don't like, to be a sniper. I really like to be that up close in your face running gun kind of person. And that's really how I've, developed as a Call of Duty player. I like to move around the map. I don't like to sit in one spot. A lot of people like to, travel on the outside of the map and run around that way. But, I mean, I try to do things differently each time. I mean, I kind of have a start-out system for every single match. Like, as soon as that countdown clock timer ends, I know exactly where I want to go, which direction I want to take, what path I'm going to use, so that I may, catch someone from behind, if they're trying to camp from the other side. Or, like, say, for instance, on Hijacked. If you notice, on every video I've ever posted on Hijacked, what do? I always go underneath. Because why? There's usually at least 1 or 2 people that it's always going to be waiting for you underneath in that, underground passage on the ship. But when you come up the other side, you're either going to pick someone off as they're respawning on the other side, or you can come up around the sides of the boat, and you can pretty much pick someone off if they're trying to hold a hard point in the center of the map, or if they're just waiting for someone to come around the edge of the map. I mean, it is a nice way to try and stay ahead of the game, is to always try and, keep a pathway ahead of in your mind, saying, hey, this is where I want to go, and this is the direction I'm going to take. The other thing I wanted to get into was, I hate running out of bullets, and especially in those, clutch moments where you're facing head-to-head, playing Ring Around the Rosie with people. It's always nice to have extended mags. I mean, I don't use the primary perk where it would give you a third attachment, because I really like having, 2 perks in almost every category. I think since I'm using second weapon attachment, I don't do it for category 2, but I mean, like, some of the perks that, like, I must use is I love using hardline, because especially if you're playing these more, objective based modes where they really want you to play the objective, you're going to get more score, for picking up, dog tags and kill confirmed, or killing the flag carrier and, capture the flag. And I'm really loving Hardpoint. Hardpoint is a blast to play, and the more that I play it, I've come to notice as long as you're holding or inside that hardpoint or killing someone in the hardpoint, you are definitely getting more score than ever. I mean, it helps when you're playing kill confirmed to make sure you pick up those tags, but I've come to notice, at least when I'm playing, that I get the most score in, hardpoint, especially if you're getting kills in the hardpoint, you're protecting the hardpoint, you're killing people that are, inside the hardpoint when you're outside of it. As long as you're getting kills around that hardpoint, you're going to get your score streaks pretty easily. The other big thing that I like to do is I really don't use the overkill perk that often, but like say for instance, you don't want to use you know, extended mags, but maybe you want to have, you know, two nice perks or two nice attachments on your guns. What you can do is go ahead and use that overkill perk, you know, and get one really good assault rifle or two SMGs, something like that, some type of combination where it's really going to make you feel like the ultimate badass, especially if you're trying to run and gun. Since that's my playstyle, I like to always have some type of other weapon. If you like as of right now, since I'm really trying to work on camos and things like that, I'm not using a secondary. That's how I can use the extra perks and the wild cards and things like that. But I really do feel as if you can have, you know, a second primary to back you up with ammo, and maybe if you have scavenger on, by all means use the hell out of it. At that rate, you constantly have a backup if you run out of ammo, because I've done it a few times now where I'm starting to try and get those higher kill streaks and I just completely run out of ammo, and it's completely aggravating when you get to that point of, oh god, I have 4 bullets left, and you try and rush someone to try and knife them and steal their gun. But what's going to happen? They're either going to knife you first and get that little bit of lunge that's, you know, not supposed to be in this game, but it is from time to time. You do manage to lunge. Or you're just going to die from bullets, or maybe there's someone behind you don't notice and you're just going to get, you know, popped from behind. Either way, I definitely have to say, make sure you're always stocked with your ammo. That's like, you know, big clue number 2. And I would say if, you know, if you're wanting to play a game where you're not necessarily wanting to play in a team fashion, the best thing to do is to make sure you don't get distracted by everyone else's voices. Maybe get yourself something like an old school regular Xbox 360 headset and cut the wire off. Because if there's one thing that's, you know, more aggravating than listening to a bunch of people, you know, scream and randomly yell stuff in your ears, and when they're not your friends and you're not paying attention to what they're saying, it can really distract you in what's going on. So if you don't want it to either come through your TV, or maybe if you're using Astros, you know, maybe just turn the game volume all the way up and turn the voices down. Because what can happen is, you know, say you're going on that kill streak, you're starting to do something really, really good, and all of a sudden, oh, you're starting to pay attention to some funny thing that's going on in the background with whatever people are joking about, and it can completely take you off your game. I can't tell you how many times now where, you know, people with voice changers and all these other things on Xbox Live, don't get me wrong, Xbox Live is a fun environment, and it's meant to be that way, but if you're trying to do specific things, and you're trying to get, like, higher kill streaks and all these other things, you really have to pay attention to what you're doing. So make sure you're always trying to find a pathway that you're going to run through every single time on every map, depending on the game mode that you're going to be playing. Always be stocked on ammo. You know, make sure you're not paying attention to what others are saying, unless it's, you know, involving the actual game mode. I mean, unless you're just having a good time, that's a totally different situation. And last but not least, I would definitely have to say, you know, overall, have a big time initial goal that you're working towards. Like, say for instance, if you're working towards camos for, I don't know, let's use assault rifles for instance. Like, this is one big objective that I have for myself right now, is, you know, I'd like to go ahead and gold all the assault rifles. So what I've been doing is some of the more harder stuff, you know, go for those 100 headshots, do it as quickly as possible, but do the harder stuff first. Like, if you need to do 10 long shots, do the crappy thing, and, you know, maybe camp in a certain map where you can have a long sight range so you can pick off people with 10 long shots. As soon as it's done, you know, move on to the next hardest objective for a camo. I mean, it's all about just trying to make sure you try and make it easier for yourself in the long run with whatever objective you're really working towards. Anyways, guys, I think overall, those are just some of the tips that I go by playing Call of Duty every single day. I mean, everybody's different, and I mostly just am a running gunner. You know, I try to work with the objectives, and I try to help my team out as much as I can. Anyways, guys, if you liked the video and the gameplay, go ahead and give the video a like. Subscribe if you're new, and I will catch you all next time.